Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Welcome to the NFL Week 17 recap. I'm Mason Sapesky, your host here. Just a heads up before I begin this recap, as you probably have all known by now by watching my prior videos and all that, I just want to put out one last reminder that this week's Week 18 predictions and fantasy advice video will be put out on Friday. I will be doing that Friday instead of the normal Thursday. Friday is just a better filming day for me personally, and with no game Thursday night, I figured why not do it Friday. This week, though, I'm probably not going to do as much fantasy advice because a lot of fantasy championships, it seems like, are over or winding down. However, there's still a fair share left to go, so I will do some, but not a lot. Maybe instead of 3 guys, trades team 2 guys. So, yeah. Plus, too, there's going to be a lot of players sitting because it's Week 18 and teams have already locked up everything. So this week does not mean a lot for a lot of teams. So just wanted to say that real quick. Anyway, though, let's get right into it. This one's going to be a quick one. I got a busy day today, so we'll make this one quick, I promise. Browns beat the Jets 37-20 Thursday Night Football in Cleveland. Big win for the Browns. This secures the playoff spot for them. Joe Flacco is on a tear right now. He's doing real good. Keep it up, Joe. You're doing great. And the Browns, with their stacked defense, too, are primed for a big postseason run. That shows you how much coaching means. I mean, you see Van Pelt, Jim Schwartz, the guys who quarterback's coach for Cleveland, the guys who Stefanski surrounds himself with, very talented, very good men. So that's why they're doing so good, I feel like, even with the injuries. A team with injuries as well, the New York Jets, obviously, they lost quarterback Aaron Rodgers. They are 6-10. Yeah, I mean, they have quarterback holes. They got to go out and get a better backup quarterback for sure. Zach Wilson and the crew is not the answer. So, yeah, the Jets, they're struggling right now, but they do have some young talent for sure, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, so they need to build around that. Now on to Saturday night, the most controversial game of the weekend. The Cowboys beat the Lions 20-19 at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. This game was even most of the game. I mean, Detroit played a very good game. Dallas played a pretty good game but made a lot of mistakes. However, this game came down to the 2-point conversion at the very end. I think it was ridiculous. I mean, Brad Allen yesterday said about how 3 guys went over and it was like to confuse them and all that, or they felt confused and the Lions suffered the consequences of that. What do you expect them to do? Send 1 guy over so Dallas knows? No, they were trying to run a trickery. But again, though, at the same time, the referee is going to announce who is eligible and who's not. So, again, I don't get the need to send 3 guys over there. But it was a trick, but it's a very, very complicated situation. I feel like this game was pretty much rigged from Detroit, like most people. And so, yeah, I mean, Brad Allen's crew is a disaster. You saw that in the Atlanta game against New Orleans, and you saw that in the Green Bay game against Kansas City. So, yeah, I mean, his crew is a disaster. Tons of NFC seeding was on the line in this game, so it really is upsetting that it had to end this way. However, Detroit still has a chance at the 2 seed. They have to win, and the Eagles and the Cowboys both have to lose. They both play lesser teams in the Commanders and the Giants, or Giants and Commanders respectively, but those games are both on the road. And if anything the NFL has taught us this year, anything can happen. So very much so possible. Now on to this one. This is one of the more anticipated games of the year. The Ravens defeating the Dolphins 56-19 in Baltimore. This one shocked me a little bit. I expected it to be much closer. Miami is a good team. However, nobody is at the level of Baltimore this year. Give credit there to Todd Monken, Mike McDonald. They have done amazing jobs with the Ravens this year, and they truly have that team performing at an unbelievable level. Harbaugh did it well. He went to the college ranks, got 2 high-level assistants in college, so that's, I think, how you need to do it, and very good job by John Harbaugh. The Ravens look primed for a huge playoff run this year. On to Buffalo, where the Bills take a step back real quick. As for Miami, they're still a talented team and all that. They just need Baltimore to lose. It's similar to Kansas City in 2019 version of the Chiefs. They were talented. They just needed Baltimore to lose. Baltimore did lose to Tennessee. Kansas City took full advantage of that, and they were the Super Bowl champs. So Something similar can happen to Miami. You never know what Baltimore team you're going to get in the playoffs. They have not won a playoff game since 2020. They have not gone past the divisional round in a very long time. So just look at it like that. We'll see, though. I think they're a good team this year, and I think they're a force to be reckoned with, for sure. Now on to Buffalo. We're going to go where the Bills defeated the Patriots 27-21 in Buffalo. This is a little bit of a scare for the Bills, I feel like, just because of how close this game really was. You don't want these games to be that close if you're Buffalo. I think the Bills are in a lot of trouble going down to South Florida this week to play the Dolphins. I mean, they just barely beat the Patriots at home. They sort of destroyed them. They barely beat the Chargers in LA. They sort of destroyed them. They almost lost 2 games where they sort of destroyed, and I mean destroyed, the other team. So that's a little bit concerning if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. But things are, I don't know, for the Bills. They're murky at best, so we'll have to see what happens with them. As for New England, this was a good loss for them. They played their all. They gave it their all. Even though Zappy didn't look very good, it just came up short on the road. That's what you want to see. And now the team is poised for a top 5 draft pick, which they could use to greatly improve that offense. So it's been a horrible season up in Foxborough, but it's going to get better here very soon. On to the Windy City in Chicago, Illinois, where the Bears defeated the Falcons 37-17 on Sunday at Soldier Field. A couple quick takeaways from this one. Number 1, Justin Fields is him. He's going to be a very good quarterback no matter where he plays next year. I think he needs to be in Chicago. They're going to keep the coach Eberflus and Poles. They're going to have to make a decision as to whether or not they want to keep Fields or draft a guy like Caleb Williams or Drake May. I say keep Fields. He's still on that rookie contract. He got experience, and you're basically taking a step back if you go with anybody but Fields. It's their rookie year, and you never know. You could get a Bryce Young situation like the one that occurred in Carolina. So I say keep Fields. I do. So, yeah. And get some playmakers to surround him. This team is nowhere near complete. I think they need a better running back. They probably need one more receiver to complement Mooney and Moore. The O-line needs to be better, and they need to start improving that defense a little more, specifically on the D-line. So, yeah, I think this team has potential. They're getting really close. I definitely see them as a competitor for a wild card spot, if not the NFC North in 2024. So, yeah, I think this team has good things ahead of them. As for the Falcons, they're pretty much all but eliminated from playoff contention. They still have a chance at the division and a wild card, but it's going to take a lot for them to do that. So the postseason's unlikely in Atlanta. I don't know about Arthur Smith. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep his job. I imagine he will, but I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's out of trouble next year. Same with Terry Fontenot, the GM. This team has talent. They've made all the right picks. They have the roster is there. However, it's just questionable uses of players. That's all on Smith, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of him and how they improve the squad. I like this team a lot, but it has its question marks for sure. They need to improve the secondary and the D-line this offseason. That's for sure. Shortly after the since I'm talking about all these offseason needs and stuff, just to let you guys know, I think I've told you this, but shortly after the Super Bowl, I will be doing a video on team needs, like what each team could do to improve in the offseason. That'll be probably closer to the Combine, but after the Super Bowl, like end of February. So keep an eye out for that at that time period. Texans destroy the Titans 26-3 at I think it's NRG Stadium, at NRG Stadium in Houston. Great win for the Texans for sure. D'Amico Ryans says his team competing for a playoff spot this Saturday in Indianapolis. What an improvement for the Coats. The team looks really strong for sure. C.J. Stroud looks very strong. He's going to be the offensive rookie of the year, I believe. So, good year for Stroud. Congratulations to him. I was wrong on him. I'm sorry for being wrong on you, C.J., but keep it up, and I hope you guys win this week because I really want to see this Texans team in the playoffs, possibly even winning the division. If they win and Jacksonville loses, the Texans will be AFC South champions. That would be a huge jump for the Texans for sure, but they're going to be great here. You watch. So, great things coming in H-Town. As for the Titans, this is a long, painful rebuild. You just got to get a couple more playmakers, Not off to a horrible start, but it could be off to a better start. They just, like I said, again, they need more playmakers. So if they could get that, have a good draft, they should be fine for the future. So, yeah. Colts beat the Raiders 23-20 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Big win for the Colts, that's for sure. It was a little bit of a scare against this Raiders team, who's probably not as good as them. But, yeah, I mean, the Colts, they're talented and all that, but it's been a limp to the finish line for sure. They only need one more win to get in, though, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of them. No matter what, it's been an incredible comeback for rookie head coach Shane Steichen. He has that team at a different level, so congratulations to him. That is for sure. But the Colts, they're getting closer, but who knows? We'll have to see what happens Saturday night when it means the most. As for the Raiders, it was a good fight. It was a good comeback attempt this year. Unfortunately, it won't be enough to make the playoffs. I thought this team would be a sleeper team to get in. I was wrong, but yeah, I mean, good things coming for Las Vegas. I think they should personally probably try to keep Antonio Pierce. He's led this team well. He's truly gone them on the right path, so yeah, for sure. However, this is a team I could see doing exactly what the next team we're going to get into, and that's the Carolina Panthers, did this year. Okay, so they fired their coach remember Carolina last year. They fired their coach mid-season, hired the interim Steve Wilks. Team looked strong, came back, went 7-10, had a chance to build their roster. They didn't keep Wilks. Instead, they hired Frank Reich. They traded up to get the number 1 overall pick, and that has been a disaster, and so has the team this year. I can see Las Vegas doing the same thing, being around that 7-10, 8-9 mark, trading up to get not keeping Antonio Pierce, trading up to get the number 1 pick because Caleb might want to go there, and picking Caleb, and it being getting a young offensive mind, and it being just like a Carolina. So that this team could go either way. I think it's best if they hire Antonio Pierce to be their head coach next year. So yeah. Now on to the team we just talked about. The Jacksonville Jaguars embarrassed the Carolina Panthers 26-0 at Everbank Field in Jacksonville. Jacksonville did not look good, particularly early on. However, they got their stride. Travis Etienne looked very good. This team needs to get Trevor Lawrence back if they want to win this week. So it's going to be interesting for sure in Jacksonville to see what happens with them. It would be a shame to see this team miss the playoffs. They've done good all year, and this team is one of the most talented teams in the NFL, I believe. But, yeah, it would be a shame for sure. But they looked good this week for sure at the end. Somebody who did not look good is the Carolina Panthers, especially owner David Tepper. If you guys already didn't see the clip by now, he, underhandedly tossed like this a drink at the Jacksonville game after Bryce Young threw an interception with the GM, Scott Fitterer, watching on. It's been a horrible year for Tepper. It's been a horrible year for the Panthers. It'll be interesting to see what kind of discipline he gets for this. Carolina is just a mess right now. They screwed up entirely. I don't know how they screwed up, but it is so interesting to say the least. But, yeah, I don't know. We will have to see what happens in terms of that. So, yeah. But the Panthers are pathetic right now. There's no way around it. They just traded their first round pick to Chicago last year. They have the number 1 pick, but that pick's going to Chicago. So same on Carolina. It'll be interesting. Anyway, we're on now to the Big Apple, where the Rams defeated the Giants 26-25 on Sunday afternoon. Big win for the Rams. This win gets them into the playoffs, so congratulations to them. I'm not surprised at all with the Rams making the playoffs. Everybody doubted this team. Everybody said, oh, they'd be bad. But they made it. Good for them. I did have them in my playoff picture, but I am not surprised one bit that they are in the playoffs. So, and neither should you be. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about that. As for the Giants, this was a surprising year for them. They were expected to be a dark horse this year. They've been really bad this year. Unbelievable. And it only got worse for them. But credit to Brian Daboll for keeping his squad competitive in games like this. I respect that a lot, so good job for Daboll, that's for sure. Now on to the upset of the week, game I was very pleased with. Cardinals defeated the Eagles 35-31 in Philly this weekend. Big win for the Cardinals. Round of applause to them. Jonathan Gannon going back into Philly, getting a big win. That's for sure. Shows that he wasn't the problem in the Super Bowl because his defense still allowed 35 points to Kyler Murray. So, yeah, I mean, this defense needs improved, that's for sure. They were good last year, but they're not very good this year. So, the Eagles' defense needs to work this offseason. The Philly Eagles, are they're struggling right now. They've only won one game recently, and it was barely on Christmas Day. This team needs help. They need to fix things, and they need to fix things fast because they will be in the wild card round, and this team could possibly be a one and done if things continue to go wrong. So they need to get things fixed and fixed fast. Definitely not a Super Bowl contender this year. Teams are starting to figure them out like they figured out every other team. So, yeah. Cardinals, baby, how about them? Big win for them. Huge win for sure. Love to see Monty Ossenfort, the general manager, giving all the hugs after the game. That was amazing. So, big win for the Cardinals. If they can win this week against Seattle at home, that would be huge. That would cap off, an amazing ride for them. They improved big time in a rebuilding year where they were expected to be worse. And they look good this week. So, if they can win they're 4 wins now. If they can win this week, that would get them to 5 wins for the year. I think you could expect this team to get 8, maybe even 9 wins next year. So things are trending up for the Cardinals. Just need to keep getting pieces. This team is on the up, that's for sure. San Francisco better take advantage of opportunities that they have now because teams like this are coming up. The Rams are obviously getting better for the draft, and the Seahawks, too, are solid. So San Francisco better do their best now because this might be their last chance for a little while to get a ring in the ever-so-changing NFL. Tampa, Florida, here we come. Saints defeated the Buccaneers 23-13. This was a shock to me for sure. Baker Mayfield had this team on a run. It was surprising to see the Saints come in here and win. Both teams are now 8-8. Tampa leads the division, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting ride to the finish, that is for sure. None of these teams in the NFC South are particularly impressive. So it'll be interesting to see how this division ends. Saints look good. They won a must-win game. That's what you like to see for New Orleans. Derek Carr hasn't been the best this year, but he did have a good week this week. So big win for the Saints. Good day for New Orleans. Buccaneers, you guys are in trouble. You had the chance to win the South. You guys blew it. So you guys get one more chance. Fortunately for you guys, it's against Carolina. However, that game is at Carolina. Tampa Bay, I think, is going to be playing a little nervous. Carolina, they have nothing to lose. But fortunately for you guys, I think Carolina is that bad. That bad. You guys can definitely get a win there. So, yeah. Next up, we got the 49ers beating the Commanders 27-10 in FedEx Field in Landover. The Niners did not look as strong this week as they should have. They did win by the 17 points I anticipated them to. I predicted 34-17. It was 27-10. They should have destroyed this team, really. They destroyed teams like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Dallas. Why didn't they destroy the Commanders? Again, they were coming off that short week. They played Monday night on Christmas Day. They lost. They had a long cross-country flight, so give them credit for winning this game. However, this team could have played much better for sure. As for the Commanders, keeping it close early on, I give them a lot of credit for the fight. Good job to Washington, that's for sure. You guys, once you get a new GM and a new head coach, you guys are going to start this rebuild, and hopefully it ends up with something nice for Commanders fans. They're currently slated to pick number 2 in the draft, which is 100% where I expect them to pick. So, yeah, good things coming from Washington. Just stay patient, guys. Just stay patient. 3 more games. Now, this is going to probably go on record for the shortest video. I don't really care because, once again, it's a busy day and all that. So, yeah, next week's video is going to be pretty long, though, because we got to go for all the scenarios and all that stuff. So, yeah. Broncos defeating the Chargers 16-9 in the last home game for the year in Denver. So, a couple quick things. Jarrett Stidham did not do bad. However, he certainly did not prove he's the quarterback of the future. But Denver gets the job done. Credit to them. Their defense looked lights out. Vance Joseph called a great game. So, yeah, good game for Vance Joseph. Good game for the Denver Broncos. So, good job by Denver. This improves them to 8-8. They have a chance at their first winning season since 2016 on Sunday afternoon in Las Vegas. Chargers, you guys lost, not surprising. They're going to get a top 5 pick this year. They better make the most out of it. This team is like the Cardinals was a year ago, coming off a playoff berth and a playoff loss. However, in need of kind of a reset with franchise QB, so it'll be interesting to see how that rebuild goes. That is for sure. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. But, yeah. Bengals lost to the Chiefs, or Chiefs beat the Bengals 25-17 in an AFC Championship game rematch in Kansas City this weekend. Couple quick tidbits from this one. Kansas City did not look great early on. There was points at this game where they looked horrible. However, they did credit to Andy Reid, credit to Mahomes, credit to Kelsey, credit to Pacheco, credit to Rashee Rice, who's been amazing this year. Another one I was wrong on. Sorry, Rashee. But this team's looked impressive. Credit to them for finding a way to come back and win this game. Cincinnati a lot of times beats them in Kansas City and just in general. But, yeah, this is the game I can never get right picking. I can't get it right for some odd reason. I don't get it. But, yeah, good win for the Chiefs. That's for sure. Congrats to them. As for the Bengals, you guys are obviously eliminated from the playoffs. You guys are going to get a somewhat decent draft pick this year to build around Burrow. This team will be back next year. This is probably the best case scenario what could happen this week or this year. You guys won a couple games. Browning proved he was the answer for a while. You guys stumbled a bit late, but yeah, I mean, he's a quality backup for sure. I think you guys have a quality backup, so try to re-sign him for sure, but definitely will be interesting for sure, the QB market this offseason as the wind blows here. Last but certainly not least, this one was a little bit or somewhat very surprising to me. Packers defeated the Vikings 33-10 on Sunday night. Last game before New Year's Eve. This was going on when the ball was dropping, but definitely was interesting. That is for sure. I can't believe the Packers won by this much, considering the Vikings always play these one-score games, always play to the end. This one was shocking to me. I mean, Green Bay just demolished them. Credit to Coach LaFleur. He had this team ready. He's got this team doing big things. One more win to get Green Bay in the playoffs and possibly a matchup with Detroit. That would be so much fun. So, yeah, I can't wait for that. So, Green Bay, just one more win. You guys can do it. Big game for January, that's for sure, and Jordan Love. As for the Vikings, this team looks horrible. They definitely need to go out and get a QB this offseason. Regardless of if Kirk Cousins resigns or not, this team needs to do something at quarterback because they have no solutions. Jaron Hall looked ugly, horrible. Nick Mullins, not very good. Josh Dobbs, okay, but not good. This team needs help. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, they need to get that position figured out fast, the backup quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. That is for sure. Definitely an interesting offseason coming up for the NFL. The offseason will start on Sunday night for 18 of the 32 teams. And for the other 14, they will play for a chance to hoist the Lombardi Trophy in Las Vegas on Sunday, February 11th, 2024. That's all I have for you guys this year. We're going to do Week 18, man. Get ready. It's going to be a fun one. Week 18, Friday morning, or Friday at some point will be the prediction show. Monday afternoon or Monday night will be the post-week show, the recap show. And then we're going to get right into playoffs. Playoff predictions will be coming out on Fridays. And the recap videos will be out on Mondays, except for wildcard round, which will be out Tuesday. So definitely interesting, that is for sure. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching this. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. Happy New Year. Pray for Israel. And as always, peace. See you around.